Alright, well, here we go. Sam, it's going to be Dust2.
That it is. We haven't seen this in the last couple of days, so looking forward to seeing how this plays out as... Oh, look at that. SKADE going fairly aggressively. Okay, it is a pistol round, so somewhat to be expected. Oh, they just stop at the corner. Okay. I was expecting a little more. I suppose that was a fairly deep angle for Arky to hold anyway.
Yeah, they were wanting to try and get some early kills, but it's going to be Mutrus with the first one with the USB. The smoke's going to be coming out, but the counter flash are going to be working in favor. But Arky can't hit anything on that part. They need to get the boosts out and make sure they can get a player up on towards site. The spray through the smoke going to continue on, but Mutrus going to be holding over towards short. Now the aggression is coming through. Arky going to get taken straight down by Bubbles. He's going to get over towards site, I think, but it's going to be Rainwaker who is going to get taken down. sAWJUST takes down the long player, and now it's only the last two players left on towards site. This should be an easy takeover from SAWJUST side. Just a retake here from close proximity. We managed to get a kill with only losing a couple of players here, so limited amount of money given, but the bomb did go down.
Yeah, fairly simple and straightforward round, all things considered. And yes, thank goodness they are going to have that extra little bit of credits there for having that bomb get planted. But yeah, somewhat to be expected, I suppose, when you're just going for a rush. And we talk about how pistols can be a little coin flippy. You're never 100% sure how it's going to pan out. And it just so happened that SAWJUST had some really good reinforcements over on the A site. And SKADE, obviously, with a full 5-man rush up a long, lined up somewhat. So they lose a lot of their forces on the way in. And it's a fairly simple round for SAWJUST to take. But the worst thing that you can do is give SAWJUST the first round. And now we're going to see SKADE put a little bit of money into this despite losing that first round. This is hectic.
Well, still got a long way to go. Dennis SAWJUST going to be kicking it off. Well, we wanted something spicy. There you go. Advantage. Going to be on the side of SKADE right off the bat. And forcing as teas is always a lot easier compared to the CT side, especially at the very start. And having deagles on a map like Dust2 always makes sense. That scout buy was very smart as well.
Clearly.
They're going to be able to get the advantage.
I do like that SAWJUST haven't kind of over-rotated. They're still playing this very patiently. It could have been very easy to start moving over towards the A site after that first kill, but they opt to play a little bit more disciplined. And they have fairly good cover of the map as well, garnering quite a little bit of information. They haven't left A completely unguarded, but the rotation over towards B, if and when it becomes necessary, still time for SKADE to change their mind, but if it becomes necessary, still doable.
As we're talking about that, Dreamer is going to get confronted by one of the players who did hang back Mutrus. Going to be able to take a couple of shots, but maybe they recognize that this is just mate. Just going to be up close and personal. Unfortunately, a little bit too close for comfort. Chip is going to be able to snap his head off, and that Molotov and the Deagle going to combine to be able to do fantastic work. But unfortunately for them, Mutrus and Rome just through the walls. Going to be taking them down, leaving it as a bubble to try and clutch this. And he is not very comfortable in these scenarios, as you can tell. Rome comes through and is going to be able to collapse on top of him and take the kill and pick up an AK for his trouble.
Not an awful start to the round here for SAWJUST at all. SKADE struggling a little bit. Now, bearing in mind that this was SKADE's map pick, and just to reiterate what I was saying a little bit earlier on, so statistically, this is one of SKADE's worst maps. But they have been playing it a lot more recently, which kind of leads you to believe that they're working on it. They're trying to make it one of their better maps. So that could be why they kind of picked into this. But you also have to remember that this is one of SAW's first picks along with Ancient. So it was a very risky decision to pick into this. And SAW already doing really well.
Spray is going to be coming down here. The Glil going to be able to find one kill, but it seems like that's going to be all at that moment. SKADE is going to be able to kill onto Dennis Law. That's going to be a horrible kill in regards to, well, horrible loss in regards to SKADE. And they need as much manpower as well as they can get. They've only got limited utility at the moment, but the same can be said. Oh, Bubble. Finally going to be looking to get a frag here. SKADE is going to get taken down. There is a gap on the smoke there. Mutu's going to be dodging the flashes, making sure no one's coming up behind it. But Roman, he's in a key position. We may not be able to see his crosshair. He should. The flash comes in. He's going to be giving away his position. They know what to look out for. And for him, he misses a chance to take the shots here on these players. I'm not quite sure why that player has no crosshair, but It's definitely a brave decision. Meanwhile, look at all the other players, and just from a distance is going to be sniping with the MP9, classic sniping weapon, and he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, but the kill is going to come in from Rome. Mutrus going to get the final one from Catwalk there, or Short rather, and going to be able to do themselves some favor. I think they will have defuse kits. There is potentially one there left on the ground for Roman to pick up. They're making sure they fully disperse the weaponry here.
You know, it's really sad because I felt like Arky got robbed of that kill. Like, obviously, I mean, so he does all of that damage. He sprays down, and he doesn't get the satisfaction of knowing that he got to snipe down long with that weapon. But, as you know what, as long as the kill comes through, that's the most important thing. Now, fairly important thing here for sAW, and something that could be terrifying for SKADE, is, of course, Dust2 has now picked up the AWP. He's going to be holding mid. No one's pushing towards mid. It's a pretty hard and fast, aggressive strike over towards the B site. It is more or less a pistol round, so somewhat to be expected.
Oh, the Mag 10 player is going to get taken down. The Take 9 is going to be doing huge work. Takes him down in a nice trade-off, but it's going to be down to Rome, and he's going to get fragged from the left. He's not careful. Rome, unfortunately, has in a bubble. Is going to be able to get the kill. He's actually, you know, kicking off this this game fairly well. He's got 5 kills. 3 deaths fairly decently, but it's going to have to be another retake situation. The bomb has gone down a lot of times, but it's not gone off a single time as of yet. We might well be seeing the change in the flow this time around. SKADE almost halfway through their counter. There are defuse kits on the side of the CT. sAWJUST is the only one without. He also has no armor, and honestly I think that's a massive mistake to go into this round with. It should have been expected as a bit of a pistol round. The fact that they're even going to be able to do so much work here, but sAWJUST is going to get taken down as expected. He's going to be left in the corner, and unfortunately he only is going to be able to pick up one of those kills. That's going to be a trade-off. Another AWP should get picked up, if I'm right in saying. RP should run through, go pick it up, and keep his teammates happy.
It was a round that SKADE didn't expect to win, but they did really, really well considering what they came into that round with. I mean, they took down 4 of sAW's forces. Unfortunately, doesn't put them in the worst economic position. I mean, they're still able to kind of buy up for one another if necessary, get themselves into a full buy here. Really good util, but all things considered, it has made somewhat of a difference. Now we've got the counter op from Denislav. We'll see if he can take down his counterpart in Dust2.
Yeah, interested to see some more AWP battles. We saw it yesterday between the two players, Narcos and Dust2. This time round, it's going to be sAW versus SKADE and Dust2 versus Denislav. And Denislav been a really good player. I think maybe a little bit better performing than Dust2, to be honest. Actually, aside from when Dust2 managed to get onto the CT side, he was then holding outside really well with the AWP. But we have taken a little bit of a slowdown. SKADE haven't gone in for any initial rushes. They've got some utility out, smoking off towards mid, looking to do a nice execution. Yeah, so that's not going to be working in their favor. Roman's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Bubble's going to get taken down to low HP, and it's going to be Roman peeking out from the side. He's going to be able to get one kill, times it up with a second launch to the USB, picks up the AK, but it's got no bullets. Has to go for the reload. Going to get taken down. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 situation. Just going to be hitting one of the players over towards tunnels, and unfortunately it's going to be both of them at once, and it's now going to be a very difficult situation. But the bomb has been dropped. Much
easier, much more economical to just invest a smoke into that, and thankfully this also works out reasonably well for Dust2, because even if he is able to get a kill there, he loses the op because he dies anyway. So this is definitely the correct path that could have been taken for both sides. Now, Dust2 will, of course, be able to hold on to this into the next round, assuming SKADE don't fan out. It looks like they might just push in to try and take that away from him and deny them having that into the next, because this will be the first loss on the board here for sAW, so they obviously have no sort of a bonus built up to be ready for this scenario. So this AWP probably going to be the only real source of firepower they're going to have into this round. No, they don't take it away. They rather make sure that they hold on to their own AKs. And of course, SKADE are going to come into this pretty healthy.
Still a lot of utility. Going to be picking up from their side, from the side of sAW. They are waiting to get the shots off Dust2. Getting that kill bubble is going to be huge, especially as he's been a key player actually for his team, which is always a nice surprise, because we've talked about him being a little bit lackluster
Yeah.
But he has managed to get a bunch of entry kills, but most of those haven't actually converted to anything. The round in which he actually died early on is the round they won, unfortunately. But the rounds in which he was able to get the early kills, the rest of his team weren't able to really convert that into a win. So hopefully this time around, the rest of his team are going to be able to do something without him. Nice advantage for the SAW side, and just going to be above with the MP9 of Doom. I'm not quite sure why you'd peek out like that, Ships. There's not really too much of an advantage when you're just sitting in the smoke, and when there can easily be a player sitting above you that you can't easily see. So I'm not quite sure what they do in this scenario. They're going to have to play with hands tied behind their back.
This was surprising. So they take a slightly slower approach, which is fine. They lose out on one of their players pretty early on because Dodo is just godlike with the AWP. And then they stall out for so long. We spoke about those mid-round adaptations, and by the time they had a chance to realize what's going on, SAW have completely overrun the map. They have so much control right now. SKADE's only real option is to maybe rush in and get a few kills if they're able to, or as they're doing now, just try to save. And this was a rough round for SKADE to lose off the back of that previous round. You know, it kind of felt like they were getting into their groove a little bit. They also had a massive advantage in terms of weaponry, but a few missteps, and we talk about Bubble dying very early on in the round, and that's the thing. You know, it's all good and well to be fragging, to be getting kills, and he has been doing well for his team here, but to be in those unfavorable positions where you're getting caught out really early and you're leaving your team at a disadvantage, it's not ideal. I think especially if you're the IDL, because what can you do when you're dead? So definitely something to possibly work at, just playing slightly more passive, staying alive. It's really important.
This time around, they're going to catch them off guard, but SKADE getting the nice trade. That is going to be fantastic work for them. Being able to get that early kill is crucial, and a trade as well. Leaving Mutrus is going to be fairly dangerous because he has been a decent player for them so far in this game. Bubble's still alive so far, but not sure how long. If he makes a peek over towards long, he's going to be facing an AWP, so he's going to have to make sure to do it with backup and make sure they can actually get a couple of flashes and smokes. Flash is going to be going out. The peek from SKADE is not really going to be working in his favor, but they do know someone is over here. He's going to be backing up over towards short. No one is actually holding that position for him, so he didn't even peek over towards short. That is a fairly careless move that he could have been punished for, but fortunately for him, every single player on the side of SKADE is over towards long, and they're just not really doing anything much. Ships is trying to find a kill here with AWP, the backup sniper player on their side, it seems. 2T is going to be sneaking up. Smokes are going to be going out. Molotov going to be countering it, but I'm not quite sure how useful that is going to be. Smoke going to be going over towards short as well, allowing him to stay in this position a little bit longer, play around that smoke. There's one sitting on car. He doesn't get the kill, but I think that was actually the tag. But unfortunately, Bubble going to get the shot through the smoke, and now the boost is going to be working for Roman and Arky. That's going to be a jump shot coming through. They're going to have to smoke off long to make sure they can get the push up and take over the player on site. Currently, they're all down towards CT at the moment. Ships, he's actually switched position. He's going to be going over towards playing from short. Running along catwalk at the moment. Flash is going to be going out. There's going to be causing a nice distraction, allowing Ships to carry on and pushing. Rome is just trying to find that spot. Dreamer doesn't actually spot out the head, which I'm a little bit surprised about, but Ships, look at this. He's going to be coming up behind them, catches one, looking in for the second one. Oh, gets the tag, and it's going to get taken by Dreamer. Really well executed by SKADE.
There was a bit of a weird one with SAW here. So you were talking about how he gets kind of pushed off of his position, SKADE, and then A Long is completely free and clear. And so SKADE kind of take a moment, and we've seen what the slow defaults can look like. And at this point, it's evenly traded, and trades tend to favor the Ts. So they wait a little bit, they get their lineups in place, they realize that Ships isn't going to be able to get a nice quick entry kill before they make that aggressive push, and utilize their smokes really well. This is something we kind of spoke about on Nuke, and how important it is to make sure that your lineups are perfectly calculated and everything's landing where it needs to be. When they know that they have all that space available to them, they shut down the sight lines, they overrun the site, and there you go. Bob's your uncle, a second round in the bag for SKADE.
Yeah, it's forcing a full eco. I don't think there's actually any money spent on the side of CTs, and I think that's smart. I don't think they could really benefit from too much. Maybe a Deagle or... Well, actually, a P250 heal there would be really good. Not on Roman, he's only on 2.5k, so they really need as much money as they can get. And obviously, if you are just tuning in now, SAW won the first map fairly convincingly in a 16-9 scoreline on Nuke, which was their pick. Now we're going to be playing... actually, was it their pick? Am I going crazy?
It's SAW's pick, yeah. This is SKADE's.
Yeah. And this is SKADE's one. And so far, not really good in their favor, but they're on the T side. Seeing if they're going to be able to spice this one up. And the execution over towards A site is coming through. Potentially going to be playing a little bit faster, but they're just redoing this same tactic over and over again. So you'd hope that they get punished for this, but it's just going to be used. There's not really too much they could do. Sado likes to just headshot, kill. Finds another headshot on Bubble, but he's not going to be able to get the kill or the trade-off on this one.
Oh, great positioning here from Dreamer as well. I was watching that kind of push up mid to see if you'd be able to get into a good position and to take out the extra 2 players on the other side. The distraction created as well. Great stuff. Wasn't a full rush up A long. They weren't really... I mean, the fact that they were positioned right at the top tells you that they were potentially expecting a push up mid, but it hadn't been done at all. So you're never 100% sure. And then, you know, use the doors to your advantage, give yourself that extra bit of cover, and is able to get the 2 kills. Very impactful there. A much needed next round for SKADE. But obviously with SAW only being on USPs, it was somewhat to be expected. This is where things start to get interesting again, because Dodo has the op again. And there's a lot of firepower behind that, and if SAW is able to win this round, then they can bring themselves back into it. I say back into it, they are still in the lead, but they can kind of start to rebuild their momentum. They don't want to allow SKADE to start building any sort of momentum of their own, because we talk about how important buffers are. SAW wants a really big one here, especially if they want to, you know, clean this up nicely at a 2-0.
So they're going to be trying this exact same boost, and they actually mess it up. So they don't even get a chance to peek at it. They have left the bomb behind. So it indicates that they're going to be playing a little bit of a slower start, or they messed up. Because Ships is actually going to be... No, he doesn't actually even go back and get the bomb. So they are just playing a little bit of mixed match, and I'm a little bit confused as to what they're doing. Okay, they've actually finally decided, right, Ships.
What is that expression? If we don't know what we're doing, they don't know what we're doing?
That's like playing against Silvers. You never know what they're going to do, so you end up losing. You could be Globals, but a team of Silvers is going to be harder than a team of Globals. I've experienced. But over towards long, Stadado is playing a bit more of an aggressive push. This is definitely needed. They're going to be peeking out. The smoke's going to be coming through. He gets a shot, getting a kill. That is crucial. Taking the advantage on their side. Arky is in a good position to hold them. The flash is going to be going through, allowing Stadado to go in for the counter peek once again. So this is forcing a lot of utility to be used. Please take that shot through the smoke. It's going to be the boost. He's going to get found. Oh, no. Denislaw taking the kill. Arky is going to get a nice trade-off on this one. Dropping the bomb player, and they're dropping the second one as well. It's going to be leaving Denislaw to try and get this. The shot comes through, but this is going to be leaving them a little bit lackluster. He's on 9 HP, but that doesn't really matter so much as an AWP player. Dreamer, though, he's going to be making his way up along short. Might just be able to spot him out here. But he has in time, and it's going to force him along here. Maybe Roman him had actually spotted him. They should see him along here. Get the frag. There we go. It's going to be leaving one player left alive, and they should know that they're somewhat over towards long. And in honesty, with their current economy, they shouldn't go full aggressive on this. They do want to shut him out, but trying to go along versus a AWP is going to end up like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Probably could have left well enough. Oh, they're still... Okay, there you go. They get it in the end there. Which is somewhat devastating for SKADE, all things considered.
Not really. I mean, Denislaw has 7.7k in the bank. So
you
can buy up another AWP. So, like, it is painful, and like he gains 0 money from that, but he's still able to buy.
Yeah, not in as rough of a position as I would have expected. I suppose that is the upside to... I think it was the previous round where they didn't really have to spend terribly much, and now obviously they've got a little bit of a loss streak bonus. Not a lot, but, you know, it's there. So having that little bit of extra credits available to you definitely helps. I was actually wondering if Stadodo was going to be able to get a collat on that first shot through the smoke. And I was kind of hoping, because it's always fun to watch. Not necessarily that I want SKADE to do SAW to do well, but it's just always fun to see collats happen. But it didn't, so that was a bit sad. And they do hold down that aggressive angle really well. And this is something we were talking about on Nuke as well, where they take these super aggressive stances and they get ridiculous value out of the aggression. And SKADE don't really know how to handle it.
sAWJUST with the scout manages to get the shot. And keep in mind, they won their last round, but because of how many guns they lost, they're on a worse buy round than SKADE. So they may have won the round, but they may well find themselves losing a couple if they can't do a good enough job with these weapons. Being able to take SAWJUST down to 34 HP is cool, but honestly, you want that damage done on a rifle player. That Molotov is just a little bit too late. It's going to cut off the sniper player, actually, and he can't actually push through the molly at all. And now sAWJUST is going to be cut off in a very difficult position. He's going to be chucking down the smoke and a flash, allowing himself to peek up a little bit, but Bubble with the AK should be able to find this kill. Runs out of bullets, having to reload. It's going to allow the potential sniper on the scout to do even more work. He does get the tag. He's tagged 3 players so far. He's done his work, but now he's going to have to depend on his teammates to do a lot more. It's not going to happen. Justice is going to be left in a 1v4 situation. Unfortunately, Dreamer catches him off guard. And are they going to go pick up his AWP? Yeah, they have done, actually. Okay, that's good.
Oh, geez, how much more can be done in that round by SKADE, but unfortunately, yeah, just not enough to make any real difference. And you're kind of hoping that some cleanup will come through. I mean, 3 of the players of SKADE were so low HP there, but SKADE just weren't really giving them the opportunity to convert that in any meaningful way. So they get themselves yet another point on the board, and this is starting to look a little bit more scrappy, a little less one-sided than how it had began.
Coming off here, first of all, the 5-7 going to be following that up. Rainwalker is going to be able to get a trade-off, but it's not really a situation you want to be in. The bomb has been dropped out over towards long, and the CZ from distance is still going to be able to get a kill. He's going to be left in a 1 versus 2 situation. AWP and AK going to be coming through over towards long, and unfortunately can't do much more. And I spoke about the economy situation, and SAW, unfortunately, just couldn't convert on the skills like you were saying, and just imagine if sAWJUST had an AWP in that last round, or the round before last, rather. He would have just killed about 4 people.
Mm-hmm. Makes all the difference in the world if you can actually connect. And that is, of course, the major factor here. And we're back down onto a USP round for SAW, so we're not expecting too much to come out. Although, we saw a USP round yesterday in the SKADE Sinners game. I can't remember which team it was. But I remember Wolfie absolutely losing his mind over it. It is somewhat to be unexpected. So who knows? Maybe SAW can pull out something like that here, but it seems unlikely. This is probably going to be another SKADE round, and we even things out.
USPs, we've seen them get 1 kill, I think, in their last USP round, if I'm right in saying, and I think that's pretty much all they were able to do, and a couple of other headshots. So if they can do that, that would be a positive. If they can do even better than that, that'd be amazing. I am liking this change in the way we're seeing sort of SKADE. They have performed fairly well in other tournaments, but so far in this league, they've really just been a little bit lackluster, not being able to follow through with the same sort of results they have done in other tournaments. This should be an easy takeover for them. Towards A through short. A couple of tags down. Bubble's going to get tagged down quite heavily. So is Denislaw. This actually allows headshots to be able to be fairly brutal for them. Bubble down to 5 HP. Not what you want. And if he pushes through this door, he's going to be the first one to fall down. Denislaw is going to be right next to him, but it's going to be Musha going to get taken down first. Given the opportunity here, Arky taking down ships. Didn't expect that to come through. Now if they get any other kills, this would be absolutely amazing. And just going to get killed through that door.
Ooh.
Single one tap is going to come through. And eventually, sAWJUST has been spotted. The shots come through. Up through window. He's going to get taken down. I'm honestly very surprised that Bubble was able to survive through that.
What I was really happy with, and so 50-50 here, happy to see some adaptation from SKADE's advances, because like 9 times out of 10 they just keep running up A long, but this time around they actually push out and take quite a bit of that control of the entire right side of the map, but they do it on an anti-eco round, and I feel like that could really work on other rounds. And here you go, buy round, back to the A long push, and okay, it's worked out reasonably well. They've managed to even out the score line, but I don't know, get creative. Because eventually, I mean, we keep saying this, but eventually SAW is going to clock this and make some sort of an adaptation.
Yeah, I kind of expected SKADE to actually play over towards long. He did really well when he was doing that beforehand. He was able to get quite a few kills and really stop the push working as effectively. We're on a 6-6 scoreline. SKADE doing a really good job of being able to shut down the utility economy of SAW at the moment. They're in control of it. If they win this round, they should have the next 2 rounds in hands. There's full round loss bonus in effect for SAW, if I'm right in saying. Bubble and Dreamer, though, going to get tagged down quite heavily by that nade. No sprays have happened, though, through it. A little bit of a difficult game for SAW so far. They managed to get the first few rounds on the board, nice and easy. I think it was 3 rounds where the bomb got planted each round, but every single one of them got defused. We've got a bit of a slower take over towards A. Now the utility is going to be coming through. Molotov going to be pushing up as well, forcing any CT players to be pulling back. Ship's going to be able to get the first kill. sAWJUST misses his shot, not the second though. With Mutrus chiming in and being able to get a kill, sAWJUST has to be super careful here. He's playing in a dangerous position. His legs were completely exposed there thanks to the way that smoke is positioned. Mutrus is going to be able to get a second one. Finally going to be waking up, leaving it down to 2 players on the T side to be able to try and survive this. Rainwaker trying to do his best. He's going to be able to catch one off guard. Maybe with a second one, his last bullet. Pulling off a screen moment, getting the kill, but unfortunately, he can't even get the bomb planted. He is going to get taken down a little bit prematurely.
That was actually a really interesting one because SAW start rotating. We actually see Arky and Roman start moving through mid over towards, like, into the B connector over towards B. And it's only once the util starts coming out, literally at that exact moment, that they start heading back towards double door. And Ships, who's been waiting for that, is able to get that first kill. And you start to think, oh man, they've shut down the reinforcements. How on earth are they going to hold this? But Stanislav on the side there holds it down, and they deny SKADE from getting in onto the sides. And I mean, they play that so well.
First kill is going to be coming through, but a nice trade-off and advantage over towards the T side. SKADE lose 1, get the second. They're going to be playing up through mid, and the B site smoke's going to be going down. There should be a nice execution over towards the B site. No one is holding that at the moment. Just is going to have to fall back to try and hold this, but he's going to be a little bit too slow. Flash is going to be going out from his teammates, though. He gets on towards site. His position is known, though. He's going to have to do his best. He's completely flashed by his own teammates. He's going to get taken down. Mutrus, unfortunately, going to be the better factor for the side of the T's. The push through the smokes is going to be coming through. He's going to be able to get the frag, and so is sAWJUST. Without the AWP in hand, he's still going to be able to get the kill through the smoke again versus Dreamer. Argy's going to get taken down, but they managed to get the round in hand, but not enough weapons. They've only got limited amount of economy on the side of SAW, but that was the 8th round. That is super important as we go through to the final round of this half.
I mean, you talk about SAW looking a little bit iffy, but SKADE aren't looking terribly much better either. They've got a little bit into this now. I think the most important part is that both teams do still have the AWP, so there is a lot of firepower behind that, and particularly because it's in the hands of SKADE and Denislav. But we talk about how important it is to get your utility on point. There's nothing more heartbreaking than a team flash.
Team flash is going to be super painful. It's definitely going to be hard to not be tilted by that as well.
For sure.
It'd definitely be fairly frustrating on that front, but 8-6. SKADE looking to try and get one more round on the board. It could be the difference between them going through to the playoffs or walking away from the Challenger League. A little bit unhappy, a little bit deflated with their results. Instead of holding out towards mid, gets the first kill, chucking down the smoke, but honestly, that's not what you need. He gets the second shot off. He doesn't care. He goes right back in for more shots.
No!
May well be able to do.
Through the smoke as well. He's actually illegal.
I didn't even see that. That was nuts. I was like, oh, what are you shouting about? Oh, right, yeah. He's just going to get another casual shot through the smoke. Never mind. Poor Dennis. He's playing really well, but Bubble from the side. I'm not even sure how he was able to do that, but he's going to pull off a nice headshot with the Tech 9 from the sidelines. Ships pushing up towards short. He should be able to make his way fairly far along here, but they're going to have to do a lot of work here to make this work for them. They're very much split. The bomb is down over towards B. Push over towards A is happening, causing potential rotation, but Mutrus is going to be behind Ship, and this is going to be a nice, easy situation for them. The steps have been heard. The call for rotation has come through. Maybe a little bit too late, though. Just should be able to get this one out on board, and Bubble is going to be missing his shot. And you know what? That was an unfortunate, but turn of events. We're going to be seeing a 9-6 scoreline for the favorite of SAW. We're going to come back to you guys in a moment with the second half. Don't go anywhere.
I debated you a little bit there with the timer. That's Tom's fault. So he didn't press the start game button. Well, we've just finished our first half, a 9-6 half. Nice. And unfortunately, it's not looking too hot for SKADE right now, but we're hoping to see a little bit of a resurgence from them as we head into the second half. And just going back to that previous round, the last round in that half, it felt a little bit like Dodo, Icarus flying too close to the sun. He gets those 3 absolutely ridiculous kills in double doors, and nobody notices Bubble just kind of walking up behind him and shooting him in the back of the head. But at that point, he's done what he needs to do. He's given his team maths. It was a 3-player advantage, and then it comes up on a 2-player advantage, something to that effect. That's all he needed to do. And at that point, with only 2 players left alive for SKADE, really difficult to try to turn that around. And overall, it kind of felt like SKADE has been struggling. And a lot of that, I think, has to come down to, you pointed this out, and I kind of piggybacked off of it, so thanks for that. But they keep hitting A over and over again. I think we saw them hit B maybe twice. And then the one time they had a bit of a split up towards mid, and they only did that on an anti-eco. So consistently, they just keep rushing up A, and it worked enough to get them a fairly decent scoreline, but I don't think that this is necessarily what they would have wanted going into the second half.
Yeah, they like SKADE were playing absolutely fantastically, and I was really confused, and I think you were too, when we sort of saw people saying, why are they so hard on SKADE? Why, like, it's like, well, actually, we were probably harder on SAW than we were on SKADE for the majority of that, but we'll have to see if SAW are going to be able to live up to how well they played on the first half. They've got 9 rounds to play with here, Sam. Let's see if they're going to be able to do it, I guess.
I feel like SKADE are doing reasonably well, considering that this, again, statistically, one of their worst maps. So they've clearly put in the time on it, but to pick it into a team who generally have this as their first pick, still a very questionable decision. We'll see if they're able to bring this one back. They're doing pretty well so far.
First kill going to be on the side of SAW. As in, the death anyway, the first 2 of them. Arky, Roman going to be falling a little bit too fast. A little bit lackluster. No trades as well, and that's always going to be a lot more difficult to live with. I don't know, with the P250, the sharpshooter, all he needs to do is hit those heads, but ideally with that gun you want to be a little bit closer and personal, but it doesn't really matter for him. He's going to be able to get the kill on a bubble, but not the second one. Leaving a 2 versus 4 situation really going to be super hard for the T's to be able to bring something out here. If they can get the bomb plant, that'd be fantastic. It would allow a force into the next round, but the bomb is over towards long at the moment. Mutrus is going to be going over towards mid. His footsteps should have been heard, but they weren't, and he's going to be able to get a shot out over towards ships. I think it's going to do 5 damage. Wow, okay. Long shot with the Glock is going to be working fantastic. He's going to have to do his best to be able to try and get a headshot here over towards the A site, but instead he decides to focus on taking shots, leaving Mutrus to try and recover the bomb and to get a plant, which is going to be super hard. It is going to be in a difficult spot for him to be able to recover, but he's going to be able to do exactly that and go in for the plant. He might just have a couple of seconds free to be able to do exactly that, but it's going to get shot from behind. That plant matters so much more than him living, though.
Just at the last second, able to get that little bit of extra cash in the bank. And this is a good start to the round for SKADE. We know that SAW won the first pistol round, and then I think that SKADE won the bonus, unless I'm confusing that with Nuke. So this is a good start for SKADE to give themselves a little bit of a potential buffer into the next few rounds, whereas you see them obviously investing a little bit here. They know that they have a deficit to make up, and they can pretty much afford to do so. I'm glad to see Denislav picking up the scout again as well, because he has been doing a lot with that. And again, we saw that a lot on Nuke when he was consistently shutting down the outside area. So we'll see now where he decides to post himself up. We know that Dodo like to either hold double doors, but mainly over on A. So we'll see if Denislav follows that trend, as we do have a little pause coming through here, which I doubt is tactical. So I feel like this is probably a tech thing.
Oh, there you go. I think that was it. We just need to get the scores back for everyone.
There we go, yeah.
So we can see all those kills. For any of you in chat who are probably going to be confused and annoyed as to why you can't see in track who is doing good. Well, talk about SKADE. He's doing fantastic so far. 19-12, best score line at the moment in regards to KD for anyone.
Bubble actually doing well as well, doing better than Ships, which is a little bit surprising, because Ships has been a bit of a boon for this squad. So well played, Bubble. Good to see you showing up.
He's awake this time round. Ships is looking to try and contest against what you talked about there, but Bubble, he's going to get a massive 3k over towards Long, just shutting them down completely, leaving SKADE last player left alive over towards Long with the scout. He's trying to take a peek here, but honestly, there's just not going to be much you can do in this scenario. He's been spotted out, and Rainwaker going to be able to get a kill of his own. And yeah, that round was fairly quick and easy, and unfortunately, they got absolutely nothing out of it on the side of SAW.
Solid spray down from Bubble, and I love that as we talk about him and then laud him for, you know, starting to show up a lot more on this map, he goes ahead and gets a triple kill in that round. So yeah, good stuff. Keep that up. He's still a little high on the deaths, but I mean, all things considered, he's definitely showing his value here, not only as a fragger but as an IGL as well. We have seen a lot of really good calls. Okay, the consistent A rushes were questionable, but you know, netted them, so pretty decent results. Now SKADE are very, very close to evening things up, and SAW once again on a full save up here because, well, they can't really do too much of anything else, and they're going to have to wait until the next round before they have any sort of firepower. So this is a good time for SKADE to start building that momentum. They will even it out, so not going to get them into the lead as such, but, you know, momentum can be a powerful mental game as well.
I always respect these kind of rounds where they're just playing a little bit slower with these pistols. Arky's the only one with the deagle. Honestly, I think probably a bit of a mistake. I think Arky's been playing well, but actually, well, he's played okay. Yeah, he's 6-14, the kind of scoreline you expect from him. He's kind of the bubble of SAW, to be honest. But Bubble's actually a lot better this time around, and that is a headshot you want to see. He's going to be able to get one, but that's going to be all she wrote. But the deagle getting picked up by Roman is a good move. He's actually hit a lot of good shots with that deagle in other games. I think yesterday we saw it being widely used by him. Rainwaker going to be pushing down towards Catwalk with his teammate. They're going to get caught off guard. The kill does come through though, and unfortunately for Rainwaker, you know, he takes a little bit of damage. And then it's going to be able to pick up a couple of kills in towards mid. Final player just, he has 98 HP and a P250, and I think that's going to end up being a waste of $350, well, $300 there. I don't think there's going to be much you can do in that scenario. He's going to continue to push towards mid. He is going to get spotted. Does see out one of the players. Turns around, runs for the hill, smokes out behind him. Not really going to... I just don't see him really achieving much here. Hopefully he doesn't get killed, because he now only has 2.1k.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the spend on the P250, so I suppose it might be going through his head as well, like, I probably shouldn't just toss this away if I can help it, because obviously we weren't expecting them to win out that round, but you want to make sure that you can come into the next round with something to back you up. And for Arky to be buying the AWP into this round, I mean, I was kind of hoping we'd see a full buy up here, but yes, just unfortunately not going to be able to actually get too much firepower behind him. But the op versus op battle is back in play. Stododo going to get that from Arky. Arky didn't really get anything out of it. I love that they send out the person with the lowest kills, like, all right, you be the bait. Go see if you can get something. Can't get something? All right, give me back the op.
I think it's probably more down to position. I didn't quite see where they spawned, but there is an element of RNG when it comes down to where you spawn and if you're going to be able to get the first shot off or not. And unfortunately, so he had the position, he wasn't able to get the shots on that front, so he's going to be holding down over towards Long by himself. I will say, keeping that P250 at the end of that game instead of just running and dying was a mistake. If he had died, he would have gained more money than he gained just by keeping the P250. First shot is going to be coming in from Dennis Law. He's going to be able to get a kill onto Rome. Unfortunately, the flash is going to be going against Rome's favor. Once again, Mutrus not doing a fantastic job with his flashes, as I think that's the second time we've seen that happen. And that's going to be a 4-5 situation.
Yeah, this was a round that SAW somewhat needed to win. Okay, they're still going to have that. I think they're at max loss at this point, but given what they have remaining right now, it's still not going to be the best position. So this was a round that they realistically needed to do well in. And what is this flag for Bubble?
Wow. Okay.
He did it again.
Yeah, like he's... We both called him out on Nuke for playing, you know, fairly trash and not doing so good. But he's coming through here, and he's been an MVP for his team completely. And that's finally that lead we're talking about. And you mentioned about momentum being a potential factor here for these teams, and it fairly much is like one of the most used terms by, I think, commentators when it comes to talking about teams. And oh, well, if they manage to get 5 rounds in a row, they're going to use that momentum to carry on, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's probably going to be the case here, to be fair. I'm happy to live for that. SKADE have done a fairly good job. SAW been a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, SAW's CT side was decent, but I think that a lot of that had to do with, we spoke about how SKADE was playing a fairly telegraphed game, and despite that, they still managed to string together a decent number of rounds. And now that SAW on the T side seem to be struggling quite a bit. SKADE have this map pretty much on lock at the moment, but this is a nice use of util here to try and give themselves some space to actually push in, because once again, we're seeing on an eco round, not going for a rush, but trying to get a little bit of info first.
Another push down over towards Short is not going to work out in their favor. The flash is just going to be absolutely screwing them over. I don't think that flash fully flashed them out on that front, so it's a little bit unfortunate. Dust2 is going to be able to get a shot off here. Going into the second one, might be able to get Glad. He's only going to be able to get one before getting taken out, but 2 total. Doing fairly well. Bubble going to be left over towards Short. Have to try and clutch us out with his teammates. That's exactly what's going to happen. Rain, Waker, and Dreamer doing a good job.
So we're having a rough util day. From missed mollies on nuke to... This is the 3rd time that I've clocked where they've thrown out a team flash. It's a bit questionable, and we've kind of waxed lyrical about why the util usage is so important and how that opens up so many avenues for you. Wow, that's a lot of early damage on the Dreamer. Jeez.
Very nice played. It's going to be a full buy from SAW. They have got AWP out. Bubble, he's going to be pushing over towards Long. Goes for the spray. He's not going to be mean anything. On this front, the grenades are going to be used. There is a couple of the nades sitting in towards CT, so they have extra utility as and when they want it. Dust2, though, going to be the key player. He's been doing absolutely fantastic with that sniper. I say absolutely fantastic. He's been doing decent kills. Oh, the tag's going to be coming out. So I don't know. Wasn't able to get the full kill on that front, but the flash is going to be doing God's work. But Mutra is going to be peeking up. They're going to be going in for the boost potentially. Mutra is going to be able to see what's going down. Dust2's completely caught off guard, and that was a fantastic play. This is a completely different SAW actually in this round. If they don't win this one, I'm going to be surprised. But that Molotov from the CT is going to be cutting them off from being able to go in for the full execution, which is going to slow down their plays. The smoke's going to start to dissipate, but they're going to be able to get across just in time. I'm not sure what there. The push over towards mid is going to happen. Ships is going to be able to get a double kill. The bomb is making its way over. Should be able to get a plant down. Ships is not going to be able to do anything. He's going to be able to deny this. The smoke over towards Short is going to be coming through. Lots of damage as well to Just. I don't know why he took so much damage, but the nice kill coming back from him. And now it's going to be left in a 2 versus 3 situation. Dreamer, Rainwaker, they're walking away. They want to stay alive.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think, it was Just and Ships were both down on 2 HP, and maybe if Ships wins that out, maybe. But I mean, even then, with Dreamer being so low, you don't want to risk that at this late stage in the game. Much better round from SAW here. Again, one of those kind of touch and go rounds where they give themselves a lot of early space. They're able to get in onto the site, but it kind of looks like there might be a possibility for SKADE to turn it around. And thankfully, they're able to stabilize. And that was a really important one, because this was a pretty fast round. And we talk about how they tend to do better when they have that aggression, and how they're able to stabilize better when they are kind of trading and going toe-to-toe. And this round is another perfect example of that. So the trades come in a little bit, get themselves in onto the site, get themselves stabilized. And at that point, SKADE decide, well, we're not going to push this. We'd rather just make sure that we can hold on to what we have available. So yeah, good call from SKADE, but a much better round from SAW.
So they're going to be holding in towards mid with the AWP. Not going to be able to spot out anything. Ships is going to go in for the spray, hitting absolutely nothing thus far, but going to be doing a good hold. Roman pushing towards lower tunnels from upper tunnels. Waiting to see if they can spot anyone around these corners. I think that's Tadado with him, if I'm right in saying. No, it's not. But Arky, he's going to catch Bubble off guard. No more sneaky plays for you. And you can see why he's getting some of these kills. Before he's going to get completely cut off. One trade in towards mid. That was a fantastic kill. T's have full advantage in this regards. 3 CTs trying to hold down sites are going to be super difficult. Rainwaker, though, going to be looking to play a little bit of a sneaky play, following in Bubble's footsteps. Over towards Shaw. Looking towards Catwalk. Trying to see if he can spot anyone out. Saturday may well be giving away his position if he's not careful. Mutrus in towards mid, but that smoke is actually going to be in favor of the T's. But Rainwalk is going to be peeking around, gets the kill. He's going to get spotted, but gets two, but not before he's traded. Really well played here from the CTs, and Mutrus is going to be last one left alive. As Ship is like, oh, there's a smoke there. Here, let me show you what I can do if that shoots straight through it. And now it's going to be leaving Mutrus in a situation which I don't think he expected to be in. This was definitely a round that Shaw had in the bag.
Yeah, they do change things up a little bit here. So they also kind of tended towards A quite a lot. And so they kind of posture a little bit towards B. They have someone on flank watch, which is excellent because Bubble has been getting a little bit too much value out of that. So they shut him down. But unfortunately, no one's really clocking that short connection. So they don't spot that there's someone there. And when you're scoped in, obviously your field of vision is far more limited. So to get that early kill and then to get a second kill when you have two players trained on you, a little bit of a misstep. At least they can get the bomb down here, but Mutrus, I was going to say, if anyone can do it, it's him, but I guess he can't.
That is super frustrating to see. I honestly thought he was going to be able to get that kill versus Ships, but that duel rather was just not meant to go in his favor. So there should be an AWP recovery on the side of this team. They should just go travel up towards long, and they should be able to pick up an AWP. They actually have two. This is going to be interesting. This brings in a whole new style of play for them this round.
Yeah, this can totally change the dynamic of where they set themselves up and how they watch those sight lines, and it will give it a little bit more free roam as well, because they'll be able to cover both the sight lines from A and B or mid. So it gives them a lot more to play with here in terms of shutting down map control, or giving themselves map control and shutting down rotations from SAW. This could be a game changer.
Ships are going to be pushing straight towards lower tunnels. This is going to be given a huge amount of information towards the side of CTs, and they're playing a stronghold over towards A right now. Potential slight rotation coming in from their side, but T's, they're just going full in. It's not the fact that they've got spread out or anything. They really are just wanting to make sure they can get an entry over towards one of the sides. So that's what they're going to be doing. Denzel's going to get flashed out. Rainwaker wasn't flashed. He's going to be able to get a kill there. Fantastically played, and they're looking to try and get some extra kills as the players are dropping down in towards Pit here, and that AWP pick up is going to be useful, but Arky unfortunately hasn't been the sharpshooter with it that we may want to see, and he's currently sitting on 8 to 18 at the moment.
Yeah, and with 2 HP and a dream, it's going to be that little bit more tough. And they realize now that rotating might be tough because they know that there is another AWP in play. So they have to consistently be aware of that. And I mean, we can already see if they try to make a move through mid, they're likely going to get caught out. They're running out of time. This has to be the play. And the 3 stack on A plus one of those AWPs, this is going to be tough.
They really haven't done able to try and shut this down. Rainwaker's going to be able to take down Rome and also Mutrus. The trade finally comes in, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Very little HP left on that player. The bomb is dropped. They just don't really have the gameplay here. 29 HP altogether across both of these players. The bomb is going to get picked up, but a little bit too late. Just is going to get taken down. He's going to have to try to do something here, but Arky just can't do it.
A bit of a rough one for SAW here. They've lost far too many rounds in a row, finding themselves at max loss bonus, which tells you all you really need to know about that. And despite that, they're still not really able to string much together here. In fact, they're just opting to go for a couple of deagles and the scout. You know what Dennis can do with it. Of course, he is playing into, wow, okay, let's go.
Well, that could be the swings and roundabouts situation in which SAW needed into this round. They can't afford to lose any other rounds, but they really don't have a strong buy going into this. We've seen what they've been able to do with Deagles before. The pickup of this scout might happen, but it's actually going to be falling down. Nice trade-off coming out there. Mutrus is going to be able to get the kill. There's going to be 2 weapons in towards mid that could potentially get, but Rain, he's going to be looking to cause chaos here. Gets one. He might be able to get a second one. That is going to be a lot of damage done, but not the second kill that he was ideally wanted. And he's going to be playing patiently. Mutrus is going to get tagged down still. Scout in hand. No second grenade to be able to finish him off at that exact moment. Saturday going over towards long. Rainwaker looking to peek him out. He's just going to get a double tap on him. Nice and easy. And this was starting to look really promising, but at the moment, SKADE are just dominating on their side. They're like, yeah, there's a reason why we picked this map. And now the peak from Mucius could come out. He gets the shot. He's really punishing them at this point in time. I don't think he picked up that Deagle, which is going to be a little bit sad, but the AWPer in his hand is going to work in favor. Gets a shot through the side of the car. Gets the kill and another round on board. 14-10, Sam. Oh.
I see Inferno on the horizon. It seems seems we're going to be heading that way. Possibly a bit early to count SAW out entirely, especially given that they are actually able to spend into this. But this is a very, very important round to win here for a multitude of reasons, not the least of which being that if they lose this round, even with the max loss streak bonus, their economy is an absolute shambles. So it is imperative to win this if they want to be able to stay in this. Now that we've set the stakes, let's see if they're able to follow up on that. SKADE still have this double AWP in play. They still have all of these sites locked down, and SAW still going for this A push.
A little bit of a nice slow play from the T side. They've got one player sitting over towards B, actually. Trying to figure out any information. There's also Ships who's playing with an AWP in the lower tunnels. It's a very dangerous position to be in with that AWP, but you can definitely get one kill after that. You may be a little bit flustered to be able to get any more. There is a slight rotation coming through with two of the players going over towards B. They could actually make their way over towards B right now and it'd be completely open. There is a distraction coming out over towards A from the side of Arky and his teammate. Might just be able to do something here. He's going to get killed. He's going to be able to get a nice trade-off, though, but Arky has to be careful. He's going to be starting to run out of bullets over towards B, though. Dreamer's not falling for it. He's going to be able to get one, gets two, maybe even a third one coming through the smoke. It's going to be Mutuals right next to him, gets the kill. The bomb is dropped over towards the B site, and that is going to be the 15th round, and SAW just falling apart. I'm not quite sure how they failed so hard, but SKADE just read them like a book.
Yeah, I mean, they had such a good they start with that A rotation as usual, and I'm a little bit skeptical. Is this actually going to work out? And they make a little bit of noise over on A, they molly car, and then they immediately start rotating over towards B. So they're hoping that SKADE are going to buy into that. They've conditioned them A. Now they finally go B, and like you said, SKADE, read them like a book. And unfortunately, immediately are able to get themselves into a position here. SAW just cannot get in onto the site. Now, dangerously close to the end of the line. It's match point, and it's a good trade. Can't easily follow up.
Oh, Arky's going to be the perfect opener here. He takes a lot of damage, but delivers even more. He's going to be able to kill two, but gets the plant over towards Long. We may well be seeing overtime here if they can string together 5 rounds, but I think it's going to be super hard to be able to get to that point. We've still got 3 players left on the side of SKADE. Grenade's going to be going out, might catch a player off guard, but that's just going to be extra information out towards the side of the T's, and that's going to be an extra smoke going down. Dennyslaw, I just don't think you really have the opportunity here. Keep your 2 AWPs, play into the next round. Realize that you've been so dominant on the CT side that you could win this one out.
Yeah, I mean, you can afford to lose out around here, particularly if you're able to hold on to as much firepower as it seems like they should be able to. Dennyslaw, the only one in any real danger. And I mean, he's so far into the T spawn, it's unlikely they're going to be able to take him out. It seems they've actually clocked that he needs to be the one as far away from the action as possible. So they do manage to hold on to that at the very least. Not that it's the biggest issue in the world. I mean, they've got quite a bit of cash stored up after a really impressive streak on this CT side. And now it's SAW with a much needed round win, and thankfully they're able to actually get a really good spend into this. But we've got 4 rounds of match point, and they cannot afford to take a single misstep. And with that aggressive peak from Dennyslaw, that could be all she wrote.
We've been waiting for these kind of plays to come through from SKADE. Everyone has been like, okay, well, SKADE have been fairly good on other tournaments, but they've just not shown up, and it's been exactly that case, and SAW just falling apart. They've been crumbling. They may well have got 11 rounds on the board, but they've struggled to do even that, to be honest. They've had to fight tooth and nail to be able to try and get these rounds on the board, and I don't think it's going to stop them.
SKADE has so much information here. I mean, they have so many of these sightlines locked down, they know that it has to be an A push, aside from the fact that it's always an A push.
Always an A push. Mutra is going to be able to get the first kill. Danislaw is going to be going down. And now the aggression over towards Long is coming through. Mutra is going to get tagged down heavily. Bowls in a fantastic position to kick off. The player who's been doing fairly well this game is looking to help tide his team over. Waker from the side is going to be able to take down Arky. That he's finding it difficult to be able to make it upward towards site. Mutra is going to get taken down just as very low HP. Bubble, he's in the key position. Peeks up. He's going to be able to get a kill. The final round. And that's going to be game over. SKADE. GG. Pick up the final round. And we're going to hop over to a quick break before we see SAW versus SKADE GG on Inferno, where the chickens like to hang out. Stick around. See you in a moment.